Hello, we're back with more Ace Attorney Trilogy, Apollo Justice time. We have ourselves the second trial portion, day 2 of Turnabout Academy. So let's go. October 26th, 9:45 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Were you able to sleep last night? Huh? Oh, sleep. Sure. I slept. For a grand total of 0 hours. Guten Morgen, you two. You look like you're ready to put on a real show. But before you do, I have a good luck gift for you. The voice print analysis came back, and the results couldn't be more clear. The voice in the mock trial video and the tape recording are one and the same. In other words, the recording's a fabrication. Tape recorder updated in the court record. The voice on the tape says you're a goner, just like in Junie's script. It's been identified as a fake. So if you remember from last time, what that means is that Junie said that in the mock trial. She did not say that during the murder. The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far, they've found signs of overdubbing. But it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. Thump. Huh? Who's there? Wait! Did you see who it was? No, I got a quick look, but they got away. I think it might have been Hugh. I bet he was eavesdropping. I think it was Batman myself. I wonder if he saw our hand. Oh, I'm sure he wasn't the only one just now. I bet Robin and Box Girl were listening in too. I'll make sure they don't make a run for it. That is my final gift to you. Okay, all that's left now is to reach out to the truth. And face out and then reach out for the truth. Persona 4. Time for a mini Chords of Steel workout. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Your turn. I'm Athena Sykes and I'm fine. Whoa, Clavier, come on, man. Are you fine or not? He is the absolute most bro prosecutor in the whole series so far. But come on, man. You got to join in. October 26th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Day 2. Court is now in session. All rise. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. The Sykes Brigade is totally psyched. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready as well. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Blackwell? Oh, yes. Well, moving right along. Yesterday's adjournment was unexpected, yet necessary. But I'll be running a tight ship here today, so no funny business from anybody, understood? Your boldness, Robert Newman and Hugh O'Connor have recanted their confessions. But later I shall grill them at leisure to find whether I can charge them with perjury. Well, this sure complicates matters. Still, one must not overlook the facts. Now, about the school camera photo that was submitted yesterday. A pity, but that evidence is no longer relevant to this case. The art room clock runs fast. It cannot function as an accurate measure of time. As for the bungling detective who overlooked that, he is paying for his failure as we speak. Poor Detective Fulbright. Hope he returns to work with all his body parts intact. But if that's the case, then what will we... The accused is the sole person who could have moved the body from art room to stage. And I mean to prove it here this day. It's just like Detective Fulbright said. What else does he have up his sleeve? My understanding of this heinous crime is thus. The murder took place near the center of the art room, as evidenced by the bloodstain. I think Fulbright is currently being forced to play the game Injustice, because I don't think anything else would fill his heart with fury and woe more than that. Blood was also found on some pottery next to the window over the maintenance area, which is to say the body was carried over to that very window. From there, it was dropped down to the maintenance area below. And though there was nary a scratch to the body aside from the fatal wound, that too was per the script. A high jump mat was employed to cushion the fall. Then a ball cart was used to haul the body over to the stage.
That's not very clever. I mean, it's the same exact body moving scheme as the script. Anyone could have moved the body that way.
Your propensity to spew forth words before you think is not very clever either.
Wait, you...
Moreover, the prosecution has a witness, which is most unfortunate for you. Witness, it's time for you to come forth.
Who is this unfortunate? Oh, it's Hugh!
Well then, will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Hugh O'Connor. I'm a senior at Themis Legal Academy, and I'm studying to be a lawyer. Yesterday, I told that lawyer there that I would testify to the truth. So, I intend to cooperate fully in today's trial. Happy now, Miss Sykes? What's he up to now? And remember, Black Quill has something on him that is compelling him to testify, so we'll find out about that.
The court appreciates your cooperation, Mr. O'Connor. Now, your testimony, please.
Witness testimony. What O'Connor saw. The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. She was heading towards me, so I assumed she was on her way to the maintenance area. But I didn't have time to stand around and see what she did after that.
Okay.
The real truth hurts so much, doesn't it, Miss Sykes? Or maybe you thought I was going to bring up something else entirely against your client. Ugh, never a snappy comeback when I need one. He's coming straight at us today, using any means possible.
To protect the students who had to climb up high when setting up the stage, Matt was brought over to the stage from the storehouse.
Our client is the student council president. What's wrong with her taking it upon herself to put the mat away after they'd used it?
Oh, there is plenty wrong. There is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion a fall from such lofty heights. Ergo, the mat in question was indispensable to moving the body.
Ah! It sucks being the last to know everything. I think I get it now. The drag marks we saw behind the stage were made by the mat.
If only the mat of that thickness was where the body is assumed to have been dropped. It would be hard to deny a possible link to this case.
We're off to a bad start again. Are you sure you're okay, Athena? It's game on, Hugh. Game on. I'm gonna turn your arrogant, perfect score grin into a teary-eyed frown of failure. That's right, psychoanalyze this guy. What O'Connor saw. Let's see, the lecture hall was packed. Okay. Hold it! Hold it! Hold it right there! What? I was just getting to the important part.
Eager to unsheath your blade, Sykes-Stono? Your heavy breath heaves to where I stand.
How rude! A human's breath doesn't travel anywhere near that far. So the only issue is distance? You're not denying that you're a heavy breather? I'm just saying that scientific studies have proven that it's not... Hang in there, Athena. No matter how many insults they hurl, it won't affect the judge's opinion of you. What about my own self-esteem? Hey, let's get back to what happened before the mock trial. I don't know, I think we've established the judge's opinions are swayed very easily. So I saw Juniper dragging a large mat. Okay. Our client was simply putting the mat away. It had nothing to do with this case.
That is where you are wrong. There is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion a 3-story fall. Hence, the mat dragged by the accused was essential to moving the body.
If we win this one, I promise to donate another thick mat to the academy. Now show me how to show you the truth. You'll have my full cooperation. We did establish that in the previous conversation as well. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and maintenance area. Okay. Mr. O'Connor, are you positive you were standing exactly where you said? I was between the stage and maintenance area, and she was behind the backdrop. He's sticking to his guns. The issue here is where Hugh was standing when he says he saw Junie. But nothing I say will mean anything without evidence. Time to dig a little deeper. Oh, and before you ask, I had my glasses on. Therefore, I'm positive it was Juniper. That is not an issue. Okay. She was heading towards me, so I assume she was on her way to the maintenance area. All right. Between the stage. You shouldn't assume anything. It only shows that you're not positive.
Such wild momentum. Perhaps you were a raging bull in your past life.
Don't compare me to some stupid farm animal.
Oi, Justice Dono.
Our assertion is Juniper was simply putting the mat away. In that case, where would she be taking it? To the storehouse, over in the maintenance area.
Precisely. Therefore, there was not wrong with the witness's judgment in this matter. It is your wild charges that are the issue here. But I cannot help it if you keep seeing red.
He's going to get a face full of justice, Apollo style, if he keeps that up. Anyway, I saw her heading towards me. Okay. They didn't have time to stand around and see what she did after that. Alright, I'm curious where we're going to find the chink in his armor here, but we're going to keep poking. And it's entirely possible that someone else moved the body, correct?
Are you mad or merely delusional? Everyone was in the lecture hall before the mock trial. The rest of the campus was empty. Ergo, the only probable suspects were the 3 trial participants.
I know. Thank you for stating the obvious. I also know that you, Hugh O'Connor, were one of the participants. Mr. Confidence sure goes all out when he tells the truth. Well, I don't think he meant for any of that to be misleading, but it doesn't make it factual. Careful now, Athena. A genius like Hugh could be leading you right into a trap. I'd be surprised if he wasn't, but all I can do is charge forward with both eyes open. Is he a genius, though? Because we've established that his parents are apparently, like, paying for his grades. And also, his name is Hugh O'Connor, which sounds a lot like Huge Con. Huge Connor. The lecture hall. Anyway. Dragging a large mat from behind the stage. Okay. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and maintenance area. Right. Assume she was on her way to the maintenance area. Do we have a map of the grounds? Yes, we do. Okay. So we have the stage setup was going to be the screen. There's an audio control room. There was going to be a seat for Professor Court and a seat for Professor Means. And then there's a prosecution area and a defense area. I was watching... Hang on. Lecture hall was packed for the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. Okay. So he says he saw that... I don't know if that's important or not. He says he saw that the night, or the... before. So... I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. Okay? And she was heading towards me, so I assume she was on her way to the maintenance area. So wait, he was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and maintenance area. I'm interested. I wish I had like a diagram to know where exactly that's supposed to be, because I feel like there is potentially a hole in that statement, but we'll have to see. So hang on. Watching her from a vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. Wait a minute. Okay. I do remember that I pointed out that that guy looks an awful lot like you. Almost exactly like him. Glasses and everything. A vantage point. This is the stage, and that is the maintenance area. But there's a big fence there, right? And that fence was still there the day before. So that doesn't make a lot of sense, in fact. Because, like right here, this would have been a wall. That wall that we saw. I get it now. Let's, yeah, I think we've got to present this, maybe? Because this doesn't show it. This does show it. Do I have anything else that shows it? I mean, there's that, which we established was the crane lifting that up, but I don't think that's actually relevant. So let's see if this works. Oh, I think it did. So, you saw the back of the stage from between the stage and the maintenance area? Well, let's take a look at this photo taken by Miss Scuttlebutt, shall we? This photo shows the students setting up the stage the day before the mock trial. Do you see the big construction screen to the right of the stage in the background here?
Why, yes! In fact, there were a bunch of those next to my house until a few days ago, too. It was so noisy behind there but I couldn't take a peek. Oh, how it piqued my interest.
Exactly, Your Honor. You cannot see past such screens. That is their purpose. Now let's see. How exactly is that screen positioned again? Aha! Since it was to the right of the stage, it should be right here. And from this vantage point, the witness claims to have seen our client behind the stage backdrop.
Oh my, but the screen would have been completely in the way.
That's right. Therefore, the witness couldn't have possibly seen our client from this point.
Ugh. Ouch.
He got hit with his bow and arrow.
Order! Order! Mr. O'Connor! Have you been lying this court? How could anyone get on this... get up here on the witness stand and lie to me? I've never heard of such a thing.
The screen. Right. It must have slipped my mind. What? Are you telling me you, Mr. Genius, forgot something as literally big as that? There are two kinds of memory lapses. The normal kind you mouth breathers have. And the genius level lapses of memory that people like me have. Why don't you just admit that it was a normal everyday brain fart already? I had a smart person, forgetful moment. I know what that's like.
Will the witness now please restate what he remembers minus the lapses of memory?
That's easy. I was on the other side of the screen. In other words, I witnessed Juniper from the stage side of the screen. You are testifying that our client was behind the stage. But need I remind this court, the back of the stage is not visible from the front. To actually see our client behind the stage from the stage side of the screen, the witness himself would also have to be in the same area behind the stage. But in that case, our client would have definitely seen Mr. O'Connor. Ouch! Got a double thwack. Nice one, Athena. Keep it up.
Objection.
Uh-oh.
All right, Golden Boy. Is this not your chance? Telling the truth will be like a weight lifted from your chest.
The truth? What truth? Ah. He's gonna admit. Gonna predict it now. He is gonna admit that that's him and he is a construction worker.
The fact that Golden Boy here was where he initially stated. That is to say, he was between the maintenance area and the stage.
But then the screen would have blocked his view of...
Objection.
On the ground, yes, his view would have been blocked, indeed. But considering how smoke always wants to rise up high...
Athena, look at the photo again. Do you think... something on the other side of the screen? Something high enough to see the stage? No way! This crane right here? But I don't remember seeing a crane there on the day of the mock trial. Me neither. But it's probably safe to assume it was moved before you found the body.
That's far enough, Prosecutor Blackwell. Remember, you promised. I recall making no such promise. It was you who came blubbering to me about keeping quiet in exchange for information.
What's all this about a promise? Is this about whatever Blackwell is using against him? And what's it got to do with going into the crane?
Golden Boy did not go up in that crane for fun. He was working part-time as a crane operator within school grounds. What? Do you mean to tell me a high school student was operating a crane? The witness, I object to the prosecutor's last statement. There's no proof I ever operated that crane.
Actually, there just might be something that proves you did.
What?
If this whole part-time job thing is true, I doubt it would be limited to a single day. You were probably working at the same site the previous day, too.
Is this what you're thinking of, Athena?
Yeah, as the court can see, this photo captured the crane's operator. And if you look carefully, he bears a definite resemblance to Mr. O'Connor.
Are you serious? This is ridiculous. How very interesting. Let's ascertain whether this is as ridiculous as the witness maintains.
The defense agrees with the prosecution. Let's bring the facts to light.
That's all very well and good, but just how do you propose to do that?
The person in this photo has one really distinguishing feature. I'm not 100% sure, but it's at least worth a try. We can clearly identify the person in this photo by examining... Well, he's got the weird thing around his neck. His hobby. The figure in this photo was wearing a very unique object around his neck.
Why, yes, you can see it right there. But then, are you saying you mean to...
Mr. O'Connor's neck is almost entirely concealed by his tall collar. But that's exactly why I believe this warrants further examination.
No, not a chance. That'd be a blatant violation of my privacy. You are a disgrace of a man. Now start unbuttoning that collar before I hack it off.
Yeah, what's the big deal? Now let's see your neck.
I guess I have no choice.
Oh!
Huh? Oh my!
So where did you buy that neckband, if I might ask? I didn't buy it. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world. Well, it sure looks like the neckband in the photo. Should we have the photo analyzed? You are one irritating lady. Fine, I admit it. I work a part-time construction job. It has nothing to do with our school. Operating heavy equipment's no big deal for a guy who can parallel park one-handed. But I never expected one of my jobs would take me to my own school.
But when you factor in all of the required tests and apprenticeship period, and wouldn't you have to be at least 20 to have a license for operating a crane?
Oh, about that. You see, I'm a genius, so, you know.
Let us dispense with this inane charade, golden boy. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, please don't! High school seniors are 19 at most. Thus, they fail to complete their requirements. But that does not apply to you, does it, Mr. O'Connor?
Oh, this is interesting. Why doesn't it apply? He's a senior, so he's around that age, right?
No, don't, please! Actually, Golden Boy here is 25. He took a 7-year break from school.
What?
Wait, come again? Take a gander at the official school enrollment documentation. 'Tis all right here. Oh, ouch. 25? You mean he's older than me? A 25-year-old high school student?
I like that this has made the audience go crazy even more than some other revelations. 7-year break. 7 years. I've just one thing to say. There are two kinds of 7-year breaks. The ordinary kind you mouth breathers take, and the genius kind people like me take. Actually, he's just a really big fan of the Ocarina of Time, and he was trying to understand what it feels like to have that 7-year break between doing anything that you do when you become adult Link in the game. But a genius would quickly become a chore for a 7-year break. I think you have that backwards, Athena. Yeah. Even geniuses make mistakes. I just happen to make mine only 7 years in a row. Only Hugh could get away with using only like that.
Enough of this jibber-jabber. Suffice to say, the witness was up in the crane when he saw the accused dragging the mat. The accused readied all she needed to move the body immediately prior to doing so. That much is clear. I see no need to deliberate the matter further. Considering that the body was moved in the same manner as in the script, I find Prosecutor Blackwell's claim to be quite persuasive. Does the defense care to dissuade me?
Ugh. As long as a mat was used to move the body, Junie's gonna be under suspicion. Athena, I just thought of something. What was Hugh doing in the crane right before the mock trial? He couldn't have been on the job at the time. I mean, he was waiting for the trial to start. Yeah? Why was he in the crane? Wait, you don't think... Your Honor.
Yes, Miss Sykes?
I've got it. I've got an amazing idea that will turn the prosecution's claim on its head. Little conjecture has never stopped us before.
Interesting.
Mr. O'Connor, you were using the crane to move the screen, move yourself. Wait a minute. Move himself. Was he trying to sneak in to get a look at the script? I think he was. Mr. O'Connor, you were using the crane to commute to school. Oh, that's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that he was using it to get himself into... to get a look at the script. That would be a feat, considering they aren't even allowed to commute by bicycle. maybe they made a special exception just for you.
Oh my, would they really do such a thing?
Probably not.
Oh, that's too bad. And too bad for you too, as I must give you a penalty. No exceptions. Yikes.
But commuting by crane sounds kind of fun. It does, actually. Please, let me give that another try. You were using the crane to, well, move the body. Move the screen. Wait, was he moving the body? Interesting. I mean, it was always struck me as weird that he said he found the body, and then he just didn't report it to the police on the grounds of he wanted to win the mock trial. I wonder about that. Let's see. The body was just like it was in the script, so it must have been moved like in the script too. At least that's what the prosecution believes. How simplistic, even foolish.
Those are pretty strong words, Athena. You sure about this?
The witness is a licensed crane operator, so he could have used it to move the body. Nice. Okay.
Well, Golden Boy, care to chime in? I intend to say no more on the matter, save that this does not bode well for you.
I like that Blackwell is just totally done with this guy. Wait, he's on my side this time? Or is this another trap?
What's this?
He's got the bow.
I can use a bow and arrow one-handed.
Wow, that's a crazy level of dexterity. I can even drive a crane with one hand. That's easy. But operating the crane itself is so complex it requires both hands. Now, I would have the court look at this. What? Oh, please tell me that's a ketchup stain. That's why his hand was in his pocket. You wish. My hand was injured and required surgery. That's the reason I kept my hand in my pocket all this time.
I have already verified this with the hospital of treatment. Quite a nasty wound, they say.
So, how did you hurt it? I see no need to discuss that. It has no relevance to this case.
2 hands are required to operate complex machinery, such as a crane. Ergo, on the day of the mock trial, the witness was incapable of moving the body by crane.
No, I'm the fool! I've been shown who's the boss! I'd planned on moving the crane the night before the mock trial, but then I got injured. But then he got high, Wanting to keep my part-time job a secret, I had to do it just before the mock trial instead. Ugh, and here I thought this was the big break we've been waiting for.
Now that the defense's sophistry is laid bare, I would have the court recall my claim. The body was dropped out of a 3rd-floor window to a mat near the maintenance area. Then, a bowl cart was used to move it to the stage. See? I've been paying attention. Well done, your boldness. Now consider this.
The base level for the judge to be proud of himself is that he's actually paying attention.
The accused was sighted dragging that mat. Ergo, it was she who moved the body.
Well, I think you were on the right track, Athena.
You do?
Yeah, Juniper remains the prime suspect if we assume the body was moved per her script. So, as the defense, we have to figure out how else the body could have been moved. But, oh, is he telling me to think of another way besides the crane? Yeah, we thought about this, actually. The flag.
Miss Sykes, if you have a counter-argument, this court would love to hear it. And if you do not, it is time for the verdict. Isn't that correct, your boldness?
No, not yet. All I have to do is show that the body wasn't moved like it was in the script, right?
Well, that would show that the mat had nothing to do with this case. There is a sword of great renown that cuts down sophistic lawyers. Its name is evidence.
You got Heroes of the Storm again? Actually, yes. I love me some HOTS. That game is great. I would be down for that. You don't scare me. Force a smile, Athena. You can do it. AKA, narrator voice. Actually, Athena was very scared right now. What's wrong with your face? What's wrong with your face, Athena? It's a weird mix of terror and creepy grin. Just focus on how the body could have been moved without it being dropped. How could anyone lower it without just dropping it? It's not like it could fly. The flagpole, we got it, the flag. Or maybe it could. After all, there is a way to zip between the art room and the stage. Yep, it's the flag. Someone could have easily used that thing.
Oh, yes, of course. Miss Sykes, the court would like to see what you have for us.
All I have to do is show the tiniest shred of a possibility. The mat and ball cart weren't used to move the body. This is what was used. School banner. Right? Yeah. The key here is the thing that ties the art room and the stage together. Might I propose an idea? It might do we well to tie your lips together, lest you further expose your ignorance. This isn't exactly the time for black comedy, Prosecutor Blackwell. Anyway, the court will recall the wire on which the school banner was hung. Hello. That wire was strung between the art room and the stage. Sure was. Which allowed students to run a reel in the school banner from the art room. Again, Fulbright helped us with that. The body could have easily been lowered down to the stage via this wire. Spare me your armchair theories. This wasn't some kind of high wire act. The body surely would have fallen. Yet there are no signs of blunt force trauma. Oh, you surprised me, Prosecutor Blackwell. You didn't actually think I failed to account for that. I'm sure that's exactly what he thought. When we investigated the stage yesterday, the bottom part of the school banner had been tied into a pouch-like shape. And pouches are useful for carrying things. What do you think this one could have carried?
Well, go on. Please explain.
The body was bundled into the pouch-like section of the banner and sent down the wire. The body would have been down on that stage in a flash, and there'd be no need for a mat.
I've heard the phrase carrying the banner, but the banner doing the carrying?
I have no patience for you and your cheap parlor tricks. Your claim is as shaky as a corpse performing that absurd high wire act. If you have an actual objection, then just come out and say it. I trust you recall the blood stains left on the art room pottery. If the wire had been used to move the body, it would have to be via the window above the quad, the one with the winch. However, the blood-stained pottery was next to the window above the maintenance area. Ergo, the wire and banner had not at all to do with the case. Oh, the blood-stained pottery. I remember that. This doesn't look good. We'll be back to the mat theory if you don't do something.
Well, Miss Sykes, I hope you have something better this time than a circus act. I hate circuses. Like all good Phoenix Wright fans.
If my wire theory is true, then that blood on the pottery must not have been... Well, hang on a second. If the wire theory is true... I mean, they did find... a trace amount of blood was found on the school banner. And then why was Gavin's banner burnt? That's an interesting question. Was the banner used If my theory is true, then that blood on the pottery... Let me think. If my wire theory is true... Let me look back for a second. Yeah. For the bloodstained pottery... Yeah. Whoa! Hang on. I'm thinking, cause I'm having a little brain blast here, like I'm Jimmy Neutron. It's yes, I get it. Hugh O'Connor has a hand injury, right? So that I'm betting it's not the victim's blood. I think. My white theory, then that blood on the pottery must not have been the victim's blood. Or blood at all. Well, it's blood. I mean, I'm assuming it's, yeah. But I'm thinking it's not the victim's blood. I'm thinking it's Hugh O'Connor's. So is he the culprit? Let me see. Maybe it's not the victim's blood. Did the police check to see from whom the blood on the pottery came from?
Shame on you, Sykes don't know. Have a little more respect for the constabulary. Yep.
Hi.
Fulbright.
Looks like they didn't check it. Don't let it get you down, Prosecutor Blackwell. Everyone makes mistakes.
Spare me your cheek. We will know not either way till the tests are run.
True, but in the meantime, I'm going to press my claim as far as I can.
Your boldness, I demand that the blood on the pottery be analyzed this instant. Of course, it shouldn't take long to get the results back. Oh my, that was quick!
We're history if it turns out to be the victim's blood. Please, please, let it be someone else's.
No. It seems the blood was not from the victim. What? Furthermore, a comparison with other parties involved with this case reveals that the blood belongs to one Hugh O'Connor.
Yes, I thought so. Score! So his hand injury was related to this. Okay. Don't worry, just try to relax. His hands were dripping with blood. Right! I remember that. Now, I had forgotten about that statement. So he hurt himself? So is he... Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, is that a red herring thing? I don't know. Your Honor, as we saw earlier, this witness's left hand had suffered a serious injury. He sustained the wound in a struggle with the victim, and his blood got on the pottery. Then Junie saw his blood-stained hands as they passed each other in the first floor hall. It's the only explanation that covers everything.
Objection. There is but one way now to turn aside her blade, but do not cast the blame on me. Your grudge is with Sykes Dono, for it is she who forces me to expose your secret.
Fine. Whatever. Oh, how much dirt does he have on Hugh?
The court will observe this odd-looking envelope.
There's a razor blade on it? Wait a minute. Is this the script? Was the script booby-trapped? What the heck?
It was inside this that Miriam Scuttlebutt's script was found.
Miss Scuttlebutts? But didn't the prosecution already claim that this envelope is the one that contained her script?
Circumstances have changed. You see, Golden Boy had hidden this from us all. let's see here. My word, talk about the most painful paper cut.
Indeed, you can clearly see that if this envelope is not opened correctly, the powerful spring-loaded blade will shoot forth, leaving a horrible gash upon the hand. The only one who had been told of the correct way to open it was Constance Court. You really want to see my script that bad? Well, you better watch out. Read it without my permission, and you'll wish you hadn't.
Oh, didn't Fulbright give you the updated envelope report? That's right.
Yikes, Miriam wasn't kidding when she said that. The blood on the blade is the witnesses. While Junior's here tried to sneak a peek at the wrong script and paid for his foolishness.
Ouch!
This guy's the worst genius I've ever seen. It's almost like he's not really one, and he's a giant fraud.
Don't worry, Athena. The wound isn't that deep. We've still got the wire theory.
Yeah, I've got it. Since the blood by the window overlooking the maintenance area isn't the victim's, there's no longer any basis for denying the body was moved using the wire and banner. Therefore, the defense once again asserts just that. Okay, so we're back to the banner theory. You call yourself a lawyer? Don't you see the glaring contradiction in your thinking?
Huh? The court would like to remind the witness that his role is not to point out...
And you... How can you adhere to such outdated beliefs? But whatever. It seems you've forgotten the two statues that were on stage directly below the wire. A body sent sliding down that wire would have crashed into them. Care to explain that away? They're both broken.
Why, I believe he's right. The statues and the wire are extremely close together.
So the body would have collided with the statues and broken them? What if they did collide? Wait, that's it. Yeah, the fact that they were broken? Speaking of those statues, we still don't know how they were broken. Thank you, please. I didn't want to, take a voyage around the world before we got to this. But I love the little Chibi Phoenix and Chibi Gavin there. But if we assume the body crashed into them... Yeah? That would also explain that loud sound we heard while we were in the waiting room.
Oh, now that you mention it, you and Mr. Wright went out to the stage after you heard that sound, correct?
Interesting. How very interesting. But may I ask just one question? When was it that you heard said sound? It was a little after the mock trial had started. Mr. Wright and I were practically bored to tears there in the waiting room when... Ah! Precisely. If that sound you heard did happen while the body was being moved, that would place it during the mock trial. Oof, which means the body wouldn't have been there before the mock trial started. You see, right before the mock trial started, I saw the body. Well, that's his testimony, though. He said he saw the body before the mock trial. If so, then my claim that the body was moved during the mock trial doesn't hold water. Yeah, why? You... I mean, in Logic Land, which I know, we're going to be playing the Edgeworth game next month, and his superpower is logic, so logic is in short supply here. But you have just absolutely destroyed this witness's credibility. So, yeah, whatever. We'll play your game, you rogue. Stupid contradiction. It's gonna get me and our case killed.
The focus was on just 3 suspects because the body was moved before the mock trial. That has been the major premise thus far. Your assertion, therefore, contradicts the very foundation of this case. Both sides still lack incontrovertible evidence. So should we not also treat Golden Boy's testimony with some level of suspicion?
Thank you, Mr. Blackwell. Thank you.
Good point.
Prosecutor Blackwell is on our side. I wouldn't go that far. I bet he's figured out the truth behind this case. Well, great, as long as he's not up to something else. If the statues really were broken when the body hit them, then Hugh's statement about seeing the body before the mock trial is a big fat lie. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's get to the bottom of this contradiction about when you saw the body. Look me straight in the eyes and repeat your statement to me. Like I said before, before the mock trial, the body was,
I shall only say this once, Golden Boy. You had best tell the truth and do it now. That is, if your head wishes to enjoy the continued companionship of your body. Yikes! No, out with it! Did you truly witness the body?
Or were you just lying about it? Well, which is it?
You what?
I
never saw the body.
What a shock. What a shock! When you're such a terrible witness, you unite the courtroom against you.
Are you sure about that? Lie to this court again and I'll charge you with perjury. There was no body on that stage. I've been lying about it this whole time. I'm sorry.
Oh, great. Yes, we've exposed Hugh's big lie for what it is. But why would he lie about this to begin with?
Order! The base premise that the body was moved before the mock trial has been overturned. I imagine this has an impact on both the defense and the prosecution's case.
Well, first I'd like to thank the prosecutor. This brings us one step closer to the truth. Now, at least, we know the body was moved using the wire and school banner.
Indeed, that much I shall concede. Sykes Stono. The body was moved, as you stated, and in the midst of the mock trial. So both sides are satisfied, then? If the body was moved before the mock trial, we have all three suspects. But if the move took place in the midst of the mock trial, it is an entirely different story.
Right, all three suspects were in the mock trial. That gives them solid alibis.
Objection!
How simplistic. Did you forget about the student in charge of the audio?
That's exactly where I thought he was going, because Junie was in charge of the audio, and she had to run between being here, doing the judging, doing the witnessing, to the control room, which would give her plenty of time to go elsewhere using the empty faculty seat that Professor Court was not in. Professor Means was over here, but Professor Court, who was dead, she could go in and out. So yes, I see exactly where he's coming from on this.
Amidst the mock trial, she was the one soul who could leave and re-enter the lecture hall. What's this? Who is this person in charge of the audio?
Oh no, how could I forget? It was... Hey, what's the deal here? Junie's so large in this shot. Juniper was also in charge of the audio. When she wasn't in the trial, she was in the audio control room dealing with the music. Right.
Indeed. The one who could enter the art room amidst the mock trial to move the body was none other than the accused, Juniper Woods, for she was in charge of the audio. No! Why, yes, I see. That does make perfect sense.
This can't be happening. Instead of exposing Hugh's crime, Junie's an even deeper... No matter how you slice it, we're cooked. And here I thought Prosecutor Blackwell was on our side. At least on this issue. No, Athena, you get a harder prosecutor than Apollo dealt with in the last game, sorry. The Twisted Samurai strikes again. twisted. It's more like dirty rotten.
Your boldness. It is time to put an end to this farce. The prosecution has presented a quite convincing case.
We're cooked for real, no cap. Black Quill got the riz, am I right, fellow kids? That's right. Hey, hold up. Let him cook. Skibbity.
But the defense has one last chance to voice any remaining objections. Well, Miss Sykes?
Apollo, what are we gonna do? I've got nothing left. Nothing. Nada. Niente. I've been trying to think of something, but I'm drawing a big blank too. Poor Junie. Unless we figure out something, she'll be... Objection. Well, I object to... Stop right there. All ears to me. It's time you heard about the rare genius of Hugh O'Connor. Okay. What do you got to say this time, buddy?
Listen and you will hear the secret behind my perfect crime. Perfect crime?
Wait, this is some serious deja vu. Didn't we just go through something like this yesterday? Yes, we did. This had better not be another one of his enraging traps. The murder, the moving of the body, the cover-up. It's all sprung from my brilliant mind. Well, go ahead. Arrest me. The real killer is right before you.
Order, I say! Mr. O'Connor, you already confessed yesterday. Then earlier today you recanted your confession.
As if you mouth breathers could comprehend my genius. The end justifies the means. Now bow down and kneel. Kneel before my great and maddening intellect.
Enough! The only thing maddening is the ignominy you bear for all to see. For it is impossible for you to have been the perpetrator behind this crime.
Ah.
There is no perfect crime, only a perfect alibi, for you were at the mock trial. And it is silly that I must remind you of this, but you were a participant the entire time. There shall be no mercy if you persist in hindering this trial with your silly little act.
Hugh doesn't seem the least bit shaken by Blackwell's threat. Listen, Mr. Prosecutor, calling that a perfect alibi is beyond contempt. Your Honor, I'd like to take this opportunity to offer further testimony. I will now demonstrate the very moment of genius that transcended even perfection. Okay, witness testimony. Hugh's confession. A huge confession, you might say. You won't believe this, but I used a body double. What? That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double almost did. I slipped out stealthily while my double took care of the trial. What is he, Naruto? I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent. This guy is giving Phoenix a run for his money as worst witness ever. Yes.
I have a question I was hoping the defense and prosecution might help answer. Is it just me, or does the witness's testimony make no sense at all?
No, it's not just you, Your Honor. All I got from listening to that was a headache. Yeah, that was just plain weird. Especially the whole thing about a body double.
Well, I'm relieved it's not just me and the prosecution.
Your boldness. Summon an ambulance this instant. The witness is stark raving mad.
Yes. I think that would be for the best. Now then, let's pretend that never happened and move on to my verdict. You people don't believe me?
It's not a matter of not believing you. It's more along the lines of questioning your sanity. Yeah, the funny farm just called. They want their genius back.
Shut your pie holes.
The intellect of a genius transcends even logic. Besides, don't you guys have that weird device for testimony like this? Are you metagaming? Widget's not a weird device, and I don't waste him on ridiculous testimonies. Easy there, Tiger. Think of it this way. We don't want a verdict to be passed just yet. So how about we give Widget a try? Well, this is against my better judgment, but I'd like to conduct a short therapy session.
Your better judgment? I'm a judge, and it's far beyond mine, yet I find it hard to say no. Prosecutor Blackquill, I trust you have no objections. Prosecutor Blackquill?
He's gone!
The prosecutor said, "Rubbish, we will be out on a stroll," and then left with Detective Fulbright.
He just left. I love it. How does he get away with stuff like that?
Well, then I'll interpret that as meaning he has no explicit objections. All right, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your therapy session.
I've seen my share of crazy trials, but this one takes the cake.
Apollo, you mean that time your mentor got so mad about losing a card game, he concocted a 7-year-long conspiracy over it?
This used a body. What is that? The spy from Team Fortress 2? Okay. He used a body double. He's very happy about that. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. Okay. That means I didn't almost lose my body. He's happy about that. Okay, that makes sense.
The spy sapping my testimony.
I slipped out stealthily while my double took care of the trial. Okay. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent. Okay, he's super happy when he says he's the killer. That's weird, right? Or are we trying to... What's causing him to be so happy? Oh, wait. This is the happiness that Juniper... He's doing this to get her innocent, right? Gotta be. Mr. O'Connor, yesterday you said that you didn't really care about Miss Woods anymore.
Yeah, he already said that, the whole, hey, nothing personnel, Junie, but I'm not gonna be your friend anymore.
Yeah, well, Juniper reported my secret to Professor Court. His secret? Oh, the bribe. She wanted nothing to do with me because I had disappointed her. That's where I don't care about her anymore. I was never trying to protect her. My confession was always about one thing and one thing only, the truth. No, you don't care about the truth. Mr. O'Connor, you feel great happiness in the fact that you might help set Miss Woods free. So much so that it overshadowed all of your other emotions. What do you... I can hear it clearly now, Mr. O'Connor. The discord you've been trying to suppress. People don't normally feel like you do when you confessed. So Hugh really was trying to protect Juniper? Yes, I'm sure of it. Hugh's feelings for her are the real deal.
Alright. So, again, hang on a second.
How old is she? She's 18 and he's 25. Okay, that's not as weird as the circus case. But that means his confession is... Finally figured out the obvious, have we? Oh, he's back.
Why, Prosecutor Blackquill, you're back!
The confession was not but lies, save for the part about being in the mock trial. Can we all agree now that the killer is the one in charge of the audio, i.e. the accused?
Yeah, why couldn't you have taken a longer stroll? No, you haven't unraveled the genius of my body double trick yet. Can't be serious. Do you really expect us to believe you had a body double?
Yes, I do.
But if you think I didn't, then prove it. Either we quit here and Juniper is found guilty, or we play along with Hugh's delusion. Let's go with the least worst choice, but first, let me update his testimony. Alright, you won't believe this, but he used a body double. So he's got surprise, and, okay, that wasn't the real me at the mock trial, so he's happy about that. That means I didn't almost lose, my body double did. He feels nothing here. Okay. I slipped out stealthily when my double took care of the trial. I had the run of campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent, so he's super happy. Alright, in short, I'm the killer. He's really happy about saying that he's the killer. What's that about? Mr. O'Connor, this emotion is inconsistent with your testimony. Hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Are we wrong? That's weird. I take joy in my intellect, feel anger toward your superficiality, suffer sadness at the world's ephemerality, and wonder at the universe's mysteries. Oh, I should have brought my dictionary to court. Wait, let me try that one again, okay? Suffer sadness, okay, whatever. Juniper's innocent, which we already... He's sad about that. Wait, did we get a little hint here? Body double? What a bunch of baloney. I know, but I can hear the noise. It means there's a contradictory emotion somewhere. Contradictory emotion? Everything he says is one big contradiction. Right, and that's why I can hear his inner voice, loud and clear. If we just think about Hugh and his competitive nature, we should be able to figure out the root cause of his discord. Alright. Well, hang on. He was losing, right? Was the idea. So he would have been upset about that. So hang on. I remember the one that stood out weird to me was I didn't almost lose, my body double did. I noticed there's a consistent pattern here. I think, let me check. Happy, nothing. Happy, super, super happy. So the only one that he feels nothing on is here. So he drops any emotion on this one. And I'm thinking because happiness is the consistent emotion through all of this, it's got to be happiness. I think we're right. I didn't almost lose, you say? Very odd. You exhibited happiness the entire time except during this statement. You don't know when to give up. Wait, now that I think about it. No, don't. Stop making stuff up. When I left the lecture hall. It was during Professor Means' pre-trial speech. That's when I moved the body. I then slipped back in, just before the verdict. So you're saying you were there the moment your double was about to lose? Yes, I was. Naturally, I wasn't happy when I saw that. In any case, I was at the far end of the lecture hall behind the screen. I figured no one would see me if I came and went through the doors there.
Sykes don't know. How much longer will you indulge him in this charade? Well, it's true that none in the audience might see him go through either of those doors. The faculty seats on the balconies are a different story and have a splendid view.
I thought you could do better than that. The lawyer's bench is on the right side when facing the front of the hall. Right? I used the door on the right side near the lawyer's bench. Wait. Hang on a second. This is the lecture hall, right? Yeah, this is the lecture hall, so... that would take him to the audio control room, and the room where Professor... Okay, I guess that makes sense. That means my movements were only visible to someone in the left balcony seat, which would... Wait. That would be Professor Means. So, did he see him? But that seat was empty at the time, which is only natural. What? Hang on, wait. Wait a minute. He was... No. Why would... Oh. Wait, is he saying that it's empty because Means was giving a speech? After all, it belonged to Professor Court. No, it didn't. And as we all know, she was already dead, but no. Unless, like, I'm getting this wrong, the left side was Professor Means' seat. Professor Court's seat was on the right. He's wrong. That can't be right. Thank you. Okay. An empty balcony seat on the left side contradicts this piece of evidence. The lecture hall diagram. I have no idea where this contradiction is going, but I don't have any other motive or moves at this point. I guess I'll just have to follow it and see where this takes me. You said the left balcony seat was empty, but was it really? I saw it with my own eyes. It was definitely empty. But what about this diagram? According to this, Professor Means was supposed to be seated in the left balcony seat. But if you left the lecture hall during his pre-trial speech, he would have been standing there at his seat addressing the students and faculty.
Yeah, no, this can't be right. You do no one any favors by exposing the falsities of his confession. I've told plenty of lies so far, but this part's true, I tell you. There was nobody in the left balcony seat. You gotta believe me.
So Professor Means was not in his seat. Interesting. It doesn't seem like he's lying this time. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's have you testify again, but this time don't spare any details. You got it. I'll repeat as many times as you like. I mean, my ingenious escape act warrants repeating, considering I'm the real killer. All I really care about is whether that seat was empty or not.
Yeah, that's actually a big deal.
Right? The second floor was deserted. Okay? Why won't you believe me? It's true, I tell you. I went out through the back door without anyone noticing. Then all I had to do was go through the empty audio control room. Why is he sad about that? It leads into the hallway, so I was perfectly capable of moving the body. Why is he super sad there? I detected powerful sadness and fear right after you said this part. It's as if you'd said something you shouldn't have.
What's wrong with you? You shouldn't reveal a person's inner feelings for all to see.
Mr. O'Connor, it's you who is revealing your inner emotions by the way you speak. Plus, I have a good idea about why you're feeling sad.
Oh, you're a horrible person. Can't you just leave me be?
You said that you went through the empty audio control room, but that's not true, is it? There was someone who returned from there once Professor Means finished his speech. And that someone who was in the audio control room was... Miriam Scuttlebutt. Who? Let's see. You said that you went through the empty audio control room, but that's not it, is it? There was someone who returned from there once Professor Means finished his speech. And that someone was... Was it Professor Means? That'd be interesting. Or wait. Juniper would have been the one logically in there, right? Because Constance Court was dead. We know that. It was Tracy Wright. No. Juniper. I know you realized there was a problem with your statement as you were saying it. That's why you felt so uneasy. If the audio control room really was empty, that would mean Miss Woods was roaming around the campus. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, yeah, he's trying to cover for her. So saying that she wasn't there, yeah, I get it now. Mr. O'Connor, if you really want to protect Miss Woods, just tell the truth. If you believe in her, revealing the truth is the same as protecting her. Juniper's innocent. That's the truth. But in this dark age of the law, the truth can be easily twisted to serve anyone's needs. When the end justifies the means, your only choice is to fight back with lies. Hugh's heart won't hold out into this battle between truth and lies. Is there something I can do to make him recant his false testimony? I fear nothing now that I have lost everything. Go ahead, Prosecutor Blackquill. Cut me down if you wish.
I thought you'd never ask. With you gone, we may swiftly proceed to a verdict.
Uh-oh.
Yeah! Ah! He broke out of his shackles again!
I don't want to be the poor accountant down at the detention center.
Hugh O'Connor, in deference to your valor, I will limit your suffering with one clean blow.
Could you wait just one moment before you cut him down?
Do not come between a samurai and his foe, Sykes Dono.
I never learned about this in law school. Careful, prosecutor. Remember that shocking experience you had last time.
Very well, Golden Boy may live. For now.
Enough already, Mr. O'Connor. Miss Woods would never want you to protect her this way. She values the friendship between the three of you more than anything. That's where you're wrong. She doesn't feel anything for me now. What does it matter anymore? I might as well tell you everything. This is, no doubt, news to you, but I am not and never was a genius. Sorry, but I already knew. Me too.
And don't forget me, though in all fairness, it was pretty obvious.
I thought he was a genius at first, but...
The stuff he said was crazy.
No need to rub it in, just shut up and listen.
It all started several days ago. I accidentally learned that my parents had been paying good money for my grades.
But that's bribery.
So the bribery wasn't Hugh's idea. All of my perfect scores were the product of cold, hard cash, not genius. Even worse, when I confronted my parents about it over the phone, Juniper overheard me.
Oh. Oh my, what a terrible misunderstanding.
I've been living a lie. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm no genius. I'm completely worthless. A perfect zero. Hugh. Even so, I still wanted to make it up to Juniper for disappointing her like that. That's why I wanted to clear her name by pinning the blame on me. I mean, she probably hates me now, so it'd be a relief for her to see me locked away. If you were trying to help her, then why did you testify against her? Hey, you were the ones who told me to tell the truth yesterday. Or told me to tell the truth yesterday, so I thought if I did, it would help her. He wasn't trying to provoke us? It looks like we seriously misunderstood him. In more ways than one. At the detention center yesterday, Junie was in tears when she opened up to me. But the truth is, the friendship between the three of them is still rock solid. If there were something that could help me prove that to Hugh. We even have proof of our friendship.
Yeah, as long as our friendship lasts, you can bet we'll be carrying them around.
Right. I know. What about that proof of friendship they mentioned? I wonder where or what it is. I didn't buy it. Right. Yeah, I know. It's the friendship necklace thing. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world. Right. Maybe it's... No. That's definitely it. That band around his neck. Mr. O'Connor, that band around your neck. That's your proof of friendship, isn't it?
Proof of friendship? Is that anything like a proof of purchase barcode?
In court, evidence is everything. That's why the three friends created friendship bands. It's the evidence that proves their friendship.
Oh, how very interesting and chic.
If they have doubts about their friendship, they can look to the proof they have on hand. That's why Mr. O'Connor's hand always goes to his neck when he's pressured. It proves he still has feelings of friendship towards the other two.
It doesn't matter if I wear it.
Those two. But they feel the same way, too. I know they wear their friendship bands somewhere. Junie and Robin must both feel the same as Hugh. I just know it. Everything Hugh has said leads me to believe that. In fact, he may have also just told me that the others wear their proof of friendship, or they're easy to touch, or they're hard to spot.
No, the third one would completely destroy my point. They aren't wearing them now.
Were they hard to spot? Yeah, that might be it. Oh, I know. They must wear them in places that are difficult to see. Really? And where might they be? How about around the belly button or on the soles of their feet? That'd be hard to see. How could they wear their friendship bands there? Oh, right.
That's right, you're wrong.
Yeah, so the actual is where they're easy to touch. Okay. All we have to do is think back to their testimonies. Ready? Miss Newman holds her arm when pressured. And Miss Woods holds her wrist. I know Miss Woods very well. She would never abandon her friendship with you over something like this. And taking the blame for her will only succeed in making her terribly sad.
Ugh. Ugh. Ah!
Robin, those bands of friendship that you made, just for the three of us. You may have forgotten about them, but not me.
Hugh!
Ah.
Hey, Hugh!
And to think, I should have known better than to doubt my best friends.
We're gonna beat the final boss of the justice system with the power of friendship. I didn't kill anyone, and I didn't have a body double. I didn't move the body. I didn't even see it. And it may look like I'm speed reading Zen and the Art of Mastering the Bar exam, but I haven't read a single word.
Well, you could have fooled me. In fact, you did.
Hugh. So, Miss Sykes, can I place my trust in you? I am going to save Junie. So yes, you can place your trust in me. Okay, so here's the deal. If he isn't the killer, it's got to be Professor Means, because Professor Means was the one who was missing from the booth.
Then am I to understand that the witness is recanting his confession?
Yes.
A most roundabout trial. I much prefer the turnabout variety myself.
Oh, he said it. He said the thing.
I like it when my courts are turnabout. Now we're back to the fact that there was but one suspect who lacked an alibi, which is, in the end,
The truth you've been seeking this entire time.
You are wrong, buddy.
So we're back to square one? Now I'm exhausted and depressed.
No, we're not.
It probably doesn't matter at this point, but I might as well update the mood matrix. No, it matters. It matters. Look at that. Huh? Does this mean?
No, does this means?
Further resistance is futile. The time for a verdict is nigh.
Please, wait!
What sort of devilry are you up to now?
What if our client wasn't the only one without an alibi? The trial would continue, right?
Well, yes, I suppose it would. But after such a thorough investigation, does such a person really exist?
Yes, we've found someone. It may have seemed like a major roundabout, but Mr. O'Connor's testimony has cracked this case. There's no more noise. Hugh is telling the truth now. During the mock trial, the balcony seat up opposite him really was empty, which means there is one person unaccounted for. 0% noise. Nice. Bye-bye. Besides Junie, the only other person with an alibi during the mock trial is Aristotle Means. The balcony seat was empty. That much is true, isn't it, Mr. O'Connor?
That's right. How many more times do I have to say it?
So basically, Professor Means wasn't where he was supposed to be during the mock trial.
Need I remind you, every last soul in the lecture hall heard him deliver his speech?
I know, and that's not in dispute here. Now, let me explain how a speech could be given from an empty seat. It was pre-recorded. What if the speech was pre-recorded? That's the only way the speech could have been delivered from an empty balcony seat. Wait. The fact that a body double isn't an option there is... Yes! I want more body doubles.
Are you accusing Professor Means? That's insane! I mean, he's the one who gave me the tape recorder.
The what? Take this to the police, he said, and tell them you found it.
What? Really?
Wait a second. Mr. O'Connor, did you just say that Professor Means gave that phony recording to you?
Phony? The defense will refrain from hurling unsubstantiated allegations.
Well, I said he gave it to me, but
What do you mean it's phony?
wow, who could have seen this development? Tape recorder updated. Professor Means used Hugh to pass it on to the police. Okay. The voice shouting "You're a goner" as recorded on this tape was dubbed onto it using a line our client said in the mock trial video.
Why, this is an extremely crucial piece of evidence.
Professor Means gave Hugh the phony tape. If that's really true, then Professor Means has guilt written all over him. Your Honor, the defense moves to call Professor Aristotle Means to the stand.
The seat was never empty. It was but an oversight by a dullard of a witness. An inmate who was formerly a surgeon once told me something. He said it's often all too easy to overlook critical symptoms.
Well, we're not going to overlook this oversight. If the speech was pre-recorded, the basis for suspecting our client would be shattered. Let's check Professor Means and see whether this empty seat was a witness oversight. A verdict without first looking into that would be inconceivable.
That's enough, both of you. Now, here's my opinion on the matter. While a surgeon overlooking critical symptoms is a problem, a witness's oversight too must not be overlooked. Thus, as to the matter of whether Professor Means was or was not in his faculty seat, I believe we must ask the professor himself.
I agree. Professor Means should be here in the gallery today.
Do as you please. All right, I'm going to take a quick break before we start the means section of this cross-examination. So I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Yes. All right. Yes, I have returned.
Will you please state your name and occupation for the record?
Certainly. I am Aristotle Means. I teach the lawyer course at Themis Legal Academy, and let me add that while I welcome any opportunity to assist with the trial, I don't care for this undue suspicion. Don't worry, Professor. We're just interested in the mock trial video right now. We just need to take another look at that speech you gave. Can we count on your cooperation in this? Very well. If that's all you're interested in, please proceed, Miss Sykes. We need to find some sort of evidence that shows this show was pre-recorded. Speech.
All right, I believe we're ready. Let's roll the video.
Okay. Good afternoon. I would like to start by thanking you for coming here today. The mock trial, the crown jewel event of the school festival, will begin shortly. When I was a student, I too could hardly wait for this day to come. Oh no, I'd forgotten how long and boring his speech was. Wake me up once this is over. Hey, no fair. The experiences of our youth have a powerful and profound effect on our adult. You there, wake up, pay attention. Huh? Eh! I'm awake. Isn't that right, Your Honor?
Huh? What? I'm awake too. Wide awake, see?
He actually fell asleep. Once again, our pure white Lady Justice be watching over all of you today. Pay attention and you may make a difference one day. Now, let the mock trial begin. That is about it. One of my better speeches, if I do say so myself. I even saw some of our students with tears in their eyes.
He's obviously not familiar with the phrase bored to tears.
Listen, Sykes-Dono. If you have subjected me to this epic study in tedium without purpose, Tucker will feast on your tongue after I've cut it out.
Eek! You were asleep the whole time.
Wait, what? Ah, interesting.
Well, Miss Sykes, did you notice anything strange about that speech?
Could I please hear that last part again?
Once again, our pure white Lady Justice will be watching over all of you today.
There, I finally found out what we needed. Professor Means, I have only one question about your speech. Why does that last part we heard just contradict with this? Yeah.
White Lady Justice. The Lady Justice here is white, but the Lady Justice here is gold.
The professor said the pure white Lady Justice will be watching over them. But the Lady Justice in the video isn't even close to being white. Athena, you can't just ask someone why they're white. It's as gold can be.
I'm not sure I can wrap my jaw around that to test its authenticity.
She is a justice. Yes.
I didn't say it was made of gold, Your Honor. Now, it's true that this statue is pure white, but it broke before the mock trial began. The one you see here is its replacement.
Oh, well, that's a shame on every count.
Ironically, this golden statue sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the white one. Meaning the professor wouldn't have made a mistake in its color if he'd been present.
It seems that I have caused some confusion, but it was merely an oversight on my part.
The statue was in the middle of the room. How could you not know what it looked like?
Well, I was in a balcony seat. Furthermore, the statue had previously been white.
I'm afraid this isn't sufficient evidence of the speech being pre-recorded.
We had our answer long ago. The accused was the one to leave the lecture hall.
No, wait. There's got to be something that can prove that the speech is pre-recorded. According to the mock trial video, the speech started here and ended here. It was a little over 10 minutes, but I doubt anyone wants to be tortured again. It was only a little over 10 minutes? I felt like it went on forever. How'd you figure out how long it was? Easy. There's a timestamp in the top right. All you have to do is subtract the time the speech started from the time it ended. The speech goes from the 10-minute mark to 20:35. Wait a second. I could swear I've seen this same interval of time listed among the evidence. Wait, 20:35. Maybe there's a way for me to use the speech time to show that it was pre-recorded. No, it wasn't there, right? Q120. That's not it. Wait. The tape has about 10 minutes, 35 seconds of noise requiring further testing. I would like the court to take a look at this. Yep, the voice print analysis, yep.
And this is?
The voice print analysis that proves the voice on the tape recorder belongs to our client.
Yes, but didn't we just establish that the voice on the tape recorder was a fabrication?
We did, but what I'd like to focus on is the noise that is also there.
Noise.
Yes, the defense believes it resulted when the tape's previous recording was erased.
And what do you hope to prove by that?
The length of the noise is what's important. It's 10 minutes and 35 seconds in all. And what did the timestamp read at the moment Professor Means began his speech?
That would be exactly 10. Yes, 10.
Now let's fast forward this long-winded exercise in boredom to the end. Okay, stop. The video timestamp now reads 20:35. Based on this, we know the time it took for the speech alone.
Right, subtract 10 minutes and you get 10:35. 10 minutes and 35 seconds?
Right, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. The same as the noise on the tape recording. I assume you all understand what this means. Professor Means' pre-recorded speech had been where the noise is now.
Silence.
You seem rather confident considering this is a mere happenstance match of numbers.
But is it really just numbers? The lab is continuing their study of the tape, and so far they've found signs of overdubbing, but it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. The police are analyzing the noise as we speak. It won't be long until we know what was originally there. Now I'm sure of it. The professor was trying to create an alibi with the recording by pinning the crime on Junie. Well, he's not gonna get away with it. Not on my watch.
Miss Sykes, I believe you are well aware of my methodology. Even if Juniper were the perpetrator, I would vigorously defend her as per my word. And to that purpose I offered to be her lawyer. Alas, look what's happened.
All I've stated are obvious deductions derived from evidence and testimony.
Truth be told, I had no intention of testifying. I had been keeping quiet for Juniper's sake. But now that you cast this blame upon me, I have no choice but to reveal the truth.
Uh-oh, this doesn't sound good.
I will now reveal the truth behind why I had to pre-record my speech before the mock trial. I, Professor Means, always say what I mean and mean what I say, by all means.
Right, witness testimony. Professor Means' testimony.
The defendant came to me with what she said was very important and by necessity, secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. But when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it, because it's the humane thing to do.
Oh my! So you're saying the defendant threatened you?
This has to be a lie. I mean, everything about it lines up too perfectly to be true.
On this most consequential of occasions, let me be completely frank with you. Juniper has truly taken to heart my teaching that states the end justifies the means.
I don't believe you.
When she asked me to defend her, she said I must also prove her two friends innocent.
Her two friends? The witnesses?
Correct. Hugh O'Connor and Robin Newman. I was to ensure all three walked free. All three were to achieve their dream. That was the result Juniper was seeking. And she was even willing to threaten me, her own professor, to that end. You, no doubt, had high praise for her ruthless tactics. Yes, well, that is why I vowed to vigorously defend her despite her threatening me. There was a time when lawyers merely sought the truth if they wished for victory in court.
But alas, those days are over. Now, in the defense of justice, order, and all that is good, the end justifies the means.
I am so sick of hearing that phrase.
Though it truly grieves me so, I must tell you this. Forsake the truth if it's victory you seek. Steel yourself for this new courtroom reality.
That does it! He's gonna regret dragging those dismal, depressing ideas in here. Since he's already surrendered to the dark age of the law, it's up to me to fight it.
Why so silent, Sykes Dono? Something the matter?
This is a court of law. It's no place for long-winded talks about idealistic principles. That's why I'm gonna let the evidence do the talking.
Let's not get carried away now, Miss Sykes. It will not do to have you attempting to discredit my doctrine. Do not force me to rectify this situation.
No, go ahead and rectify it. Only if I lose and you win, that is.
Cross-examination.
Professor Means' testimony. The defendant came to me, and by necessity, secret. Okay? I doubt our client would have come to you with something like that.
You have a point there. If only Professor Cord had been alive, I suspect Juniper would have gone to her instead.
So our client came to talk to you after Professor Cord was dead?
Let's go through this step by step, shall we? First, Juniper came to me that day.
She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Are you suggesting it was our client who told you to fake an alibi?
You have every reason to be surprised. I, too, was shocked when she told me that. Simply put, Juniper has a secret that she wished to protect that badly.
Is he kidding me? That lie couldn't be further from the truth. The problem is, how am I going to expose it?
It was an earnest request from an outstanding student. How could I possibly have refused?
The tape recorder. Yes. I was kind of thinking that too. We'll get to an appropriate statement, but if he was all about trying to prove her innocent, why did he forge a tape recorder with its frames her? Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that he either declared innocent. Did you consider that a threat?
Yes, but it's now you to whom she has passed her demands on to. Miss Sykes, you must realize that you two are being used by Juniper.
What?
Your Honor, I ask that you two do not let her feigned weakness and innocence fool you. Juniper Woods is quite clever and extremely tough. And perhaps most important of all, she is a fervent follower of my teachings.
Your Honor, the witness's testimony is nothing but an attack on our client's character.
Very well. Objection sustained.
So be it. Nevertheless, the fact that she threatened me is immutable.
She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. Okay? How could you overlook such a threat? As a teacher, it's your duty to discipline students.
Yes, well, perhaps I do have some serious reflection to do on this matter. I suppose it was just wishful thinking on my part. I wanted to believe that Juniper hadn't actually committed murder and that she hadn't meant to threaten me.
Really? Please do explain.
Long had I waited for a student who would embody my teachings.
Does the witness realize what he's saying?
Surely you must see the true meaning in my words. I am merely stating the true to what I teach, and my methods are but a reflection of the times.
Oh, wow. His way of thinking is really warped. But I haven't heard any inconsistencies yet. I wouldn't be so sure. Really? The more he tries to avoid logical inconsistencies in his testimony, the more likely we'll see inconsistencies between his actions and words.
Right. That's, yeah. It is a dark age in which we live, and there is much I would like to say on the matter. When I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and present. That's bunk. So let me get this straight. You were trying to help Miss Woods? Ha! That's nothing more than a bald-faced lie. No offense, Your Honor. Such defamation of my character and your hair follicles, Your Honor. It is an outrage. Do not hair shame the judge, please.
Miss Sykes will clarify her statement, but leave my hair follicles out of it this time.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. Now, please take a look at this. The witness gave this tape to Mr. O'Connor. Then he slyly whispered, "Take this to the police and tell them you found it." There was no whispering, slyly or otherwise involved. I simply did that out of kindness. The tape contained our client's voice. In short, it is incredibly damaging evidence. Why would it even exist if the witness wasn't trying to pin the murder on our client? They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but not yours. You never had good intentions, only lies to protect yourself with while blaming another. You, Professor, are the embodiment of the dark age of the law. Why, you little... You dare call my teachings and my methods lies? Oh. His face cracked. Themis Legal Academy is a proud institution. It's the most powerful in the world. You'll never forget what true education and lawyering means once I'm through with you. Huh? Professor Meads? What's with your hair? Quiet! No talking in class! Ow! Homeroom, October 26th. Okay. Eyes and ears up here, everyone. Homeroom is now in session. We will begin with roll call. Athena Sykes. Huh? Here? Apollo Justice. I'm fine. Here. Fool! The proper response is here, without any extraneous information. Ouch! Here. Next, Your Honor. Here? See, class? That's the proper way to answer. Simon Blackquill? I said Simon Blackquill! Are you here or not? There's always one, isn't there? Well then, I'll just mark you absent. Now, get out of my class this instant! Get out? Very well, that's your wish. Who am I to defy my homeroom teacher? Is that such a good idea? Prosecutor Blackquill is free of his shackles. It just so happens I was a member of my high school's disciplinarian committee. But is that really so shocking? Constabulary lapdog to teacher's pet. What a malleable mutt you are, fool bright. Very good, Bobby. You just earned a gold star and a promotion to head disciplinarian. All right. Class is now in session. Why do I have this sudden urge to go to the nurse's office with a stomachache? Main point, Juniper. What does he say? Juniper is the killer. I am innocent. He has done nothing wrong. He has done everything correct. Pay attention. I am not the killer. Juniper is. This will be on the next test, so you had better be listening. But Professor, you created the phony tape to pin the blame on Juniper. Plus, you were the only one who could have moved the body during the mock trial. Please note, I was not at school.
Athena, you disappoint me so. To think you would label me a murderer. Now pay attention. The murder occurred on the 23rd between 6 and 8 p.m. But I was already at home by that time, so how could I have been involved in this crime?
Professor Means, can you really prove you had already gone home by that time?
Can you prove that I was still at school?
No, I can't.
So you admit it? Well, you just earned extra credit for your honesty. But you have also earned yourself lavatory cleaning duties until you graduate.
Ew! I do enough of that at the office.
No way, man! I totally object!
Robin? I can't believe I fell for the professor's silver-tongued lies.
Why, you? How dare you talk about your teacher like that?
I'm not listening to you anymore, man! No way, no how! Now, I have a confession to make. You know those 2 statues that were on stage? I didn't make them all by myself! The statues on stage? Do I want to know where this is headed? I was able to finish one of them, but the last bell rang before I had time for the other one. So I asked Professor Means to make it for me. In other words, the professor was there on the stage after the last bell? Right! And it would have been way past 7 p.m. before he could have finished.
Professor Means was still at school? This is incredibly important testimony.
The professor told me I'll take care of it. I thought my parents would let me be an artist if I said I'd made both statues myself. Oh, I'm so sorry for not telling the truth. Robin.
Quick, somebody get this juvenile delinquent out of my sight. Simon, your head honcho among the delinquents, do something. Gah! And who's in charge of the class pet around here?
Not interested. But if you want a class in swordsmanship, I'm your man. Of course, only real blades will do.
No swords at school. All weapons will be confiscated. Gah! Nurse! Where's a school nurse when you need one?
It would seem Sykes Dono seeks a showdown, Professor. In which case you would do well to draw your staff, quick as lightning.
Very well. Then I will just have to prove my innocence myself. The real lessons begin in second period. Prepare to be served. Old school style. What is that? Oh, never mind. Your testimony, please.
Witness testimony. Professor Means' work of art.
Now pay attention. Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper, saw the 2 statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I possibly have the time to go to the art room and commit murder?
Well, if one of the statues was actually a corpse in disguise, which is something I remember speculating earlier.
You're saying the defendant saw the finished statues? Precisely. She said so herself at the detention center yesterday. A defense team was there and heard her say so too. Don't try to deny it now.
To say that evening, I went back to my dressing room to get something I'd forgotten there. It was well after the last bell rang. I'd say maybe around 8:30. That's when I noticed that both stage statues were finished. They were quite large, and they were each covered with a white sheet, but I could tell.
Covered with a white sheet. We know it. There we go.
All right. The professor was there when that matter came up. Before I address the professor's charges, I have a question for Robin. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that in 1.5 hours? It would probably take me at least twice as long.
So personally, I think it would be incredibly difficult to finish in that short a time. Gah, it didn't exactly help our case. But he won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means.
Ugh. Professor Means' work of art. Okay. Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. Okay. Miss Newman took over half a day? Can you please be a little more precise than that?
Ah, ha, ha, ha. What a wonderful question. She was having quite a tough time, you see. Prosecutor Gavin's statue alone took her from the morning hours into the evening. Well, it is a rather large statue, after all. Don't be silly. It merely exposes the difference between student and teacher.
Yep. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. Okay. Yeah. I didn't mean to skip ahead. Or do I? Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. That's an interesting statement, but let's go through the rest of these. Pressing. Most of the other statue? What exactly does that mean?
Robin created the basic outline of Mr. Wright's statue before the last bell rang. I, in turn, completed the rest of it.
I see. In academics, as well as art, learning the basics is incredibly important. In short, you skipped the most important part of statue making, didn't you?
Why, you insolent little... It is the practical applications built upon the basics that take so much time. Professors such as I mastered the basics a long, long time ago.
Unlike Miss Fancy Pants here, who lacks all lawyerly fundamentals.
Oh, quiet you. Now, do you understand? I did not leave that stage until I was done. Well, Miss Sykes, do you accept the witness's claim?
So hang on. Who lacks... I did not leave the stage until I was done. He never left the stage. So the problem with... I'm trying to think. Is it? Okay, so hang on a second. We have learned, right? We've learned that the blood in the art room was Hugh's blood because he was trying to open the mock trial script and he got cut because it was booby trapped. So that means that Hugh's blood's there. We also know, I'm looking at this picture right now, that we have the Gaviner's banner and we have the tarp, the school banner. The school banner has blood on it. The Gaviner's banner was burnt. Why was the Gaviner's banner burnt? That is a question that we have not answered yet. So the school banner that has blood on it is there. The Gaviner's banner is also there, but it's burnt. I'm wondering, did the murder take place somewhere else than the art room? Because now we have a red herring with the blood being found. Interesting, isn't it? Let's be cheeky and accept his claim. I've tried everything, but I still can't prove anything. I guess I concede.
I couldn't hear you. Say it louder this time.
I concede that Professor Means never left the stage.
That's right. But what took you so long? I was there on the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime.
I'm not gonna give up here.
I'm afraid I have to side with the witness, Miss Sykes. And unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
There we go. Crime scene's probably there. Yeah, we'll have to see. Not yet. The defense still has an objection. Athena, you've thought of something? Well, as I said, not yet.
Oh, so it's time for legal smoke and mirrors.
Not yet, Athena. It's not time to quit yet. It's at times like these, when it seems like there's no way out, that you have to... Yeah, have to turn the case upside down. Instead of focusing on whether Professor Means could have gone to the art room, I should focus on how he could commit murder without going there.
It seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. But I'll use any means necessary, even casting stones, if it'll distract her. Ah, who brought the bird to school? Sykes, Stono. If I hear one word of your usual jibber-jabber, I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, yet the witness was on the stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between these two key facts?
If I accept the premise that the professor was on the stage the entire time, the only other answer is that we got something else wrong. Wait, that's it! Every last one of us made a huge mistake. We're totally wrong about the crime scene. Because the murder weapon, I mean, whatever, the suspect, I mean, that's, yeah, that's why he's on the stand right now. The crime scene. If Professor Means was on the stage the entire time, then he must be the killer.
Ridiculous! The defense has become utterly incoherent.
No, it's just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was.
Continue, Sykes Stono.
Okay, the murder was actually committed here. So wait, it wasn't in the art room, it was committed on the stage? The greatest riddle of this case has been how the body was moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, that means the body was never moved at all. The murder occurred in the art room.
Silly girl, when the body was found, there wasn't a single drop of blood on the stage floor. Surely there would have been some blood if that's where the murder was committed.
There wasn't any blood on the stage, really. But there was something on stage at the time of the murder that's now bloodstained. The school banner. It's true, there were no bloodstains on the stage floor, but there was something on the stage that did have a bloodstain. And that would be this school banner. No blood would have gotten on the floor if this were under the victim when she was killed.
Oh my, that's quite a compelling theory.
Silence.
What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense.
That was a pathetic attempt. You must put every inch of your body into your attacks. The autopsy states the cause of death was loss of blood. Yet only a trace amount of blood was found upon that banner. Where did the rest go? The rest of it was soaked up by the Governor's banner, and that's why it's burned. Blood getting on there when the body was moved by wire makes more sense than not. Very good, Simon. Tell me, what's your first choice for higher education? I'll write you the ultimate in recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Actually, the defense has something to explain that as well.
You do?
If there was only a trace amount of blood on the school banner, then there must have been something else the killer used to soak up the blood. All I have to do is figure out what. This is what soaked up most of the victim's blood. Yeah, it's the Governor's banner, because it's got burnt.
Well, why, it looks like there's some other piece of fabric on top of the school banner.
It's the Governor's banner that had been specifically made for the school concert. Since it's on top of the school banner, the blood would have hit it first. It could have easily absorbed most of the blood like a dishcloth, and only a small amount would have soaked through to the school banner below. So, it makes total sense for the school banner to only have a little blood on it.
So that banner absorbed the blood like a dishcloth? Oh yes, that would explain it.
The Gavider's banner was like a dishcloth?
Surely it was at least towel quality.
I think Clavier would have objections about besmirching his banner.
Simon, don't just stand there, do something.
Sykes-Stono, you are learning to wield a blade quite well. But how will you respond when I come slashing at you like this? The remnant of a large bloodstain was detected in the art room, but why would there be blood there if the murder occurred on the stage, as you claim?
The bloodstain in the art room was faked. How? I'll tell you how. All that was needed was something that could transport the blood upstairs. And that something was a piece of evidence we've just finished discussing. The killer used this to bring the victim's blood up to the art room. Alright, let me think about this one. So the bloodstain in the art room was fake. The remnant of a large bloodstain, right? Did they use the banner? Let's see.
To think you'd stoop so low as to present mere garbage to this court.
It's only garbage because someone tried to destroy it by tossing it in the incinerator. That someone was most likely the killer seeking to get rid of crucial evidence. The killer used the wire to bring the blood-soaked Gaviner's banner to the art room. Then, the blood was wiped onto the floor to complete the ruse. It makes perfect sense.
God. Ugh! Order! Order! This is quite a development. To think the body was never actually moved. Hold it right there. The body must have been moved. How else do you explain that loud crash you heard during the mock trial? It wasn't caused by the body crashing into the statues. Then what was it?
I hadn't thought of that. If that loud crash wasn't the body hitting the statues, then what was it indeed? The knot in the school banner shows that something was carried along the wire in it. So if that's true, I know what I have to find. Something that was in the art room before the murder and then on the stage after. The object was sent down the wire to crash into the statue was... Oh, yeah, the Lady Justice, because, Professor Court had remade it into a completely different looking statue the day before the mock trial. Yes, that would make sense. So, interestingly enough, the Lady Justice... So, that does help cement my theory that he murdered her the night before, and he posed her, he stuck her up as one of the statues and put a tarp over it.
That statue?
Yes, I believe it was this statue that broke the other two, not Professor Court's body. The unique statue you see on the right, that's the pure white Lady Justice from earlier. Professor Court accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the day before the mock trial. But she used... I'd just like to say that I knew Professor Means was guilty from the start because he's one of those crazy round earthers. They repair it as you see here. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally Lady Justice.
Perhaps you are onto something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move that scrap heap relic in such a tedious manner?
Excellent question, Simon. Keep them coming.
You know why, but the fact that you won't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are. Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial. During that time, Professor Means was fabricating an alibi with his pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, then Lady Justice was moved in order to... hide the body. Professor Means was trying to hide the body. That's the only explanation.
Really? But by moving Lady Justice, he actually led you straight to it.
But there's always two sides to a story, and the truth is not always what it seems.
Well, Miss Sykes, this much at least is true. You've just earned yourself a penalty. All right, we did it wrong. Eek. Think, Athena, think.
Why was Lady Justice moved? Lady Justice was moved. Okay. Interrupting the mock trial, the body was found. So the only thing logically left is point us to the body. Yeah. Professor Means used his pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial. He wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing us to the body and cementing his alibi.
Gah! That's quite a persuasive argument. For a while there, I thought you weren't taking the trial seriously. Well done. You should never underestimate me, Athena Sykes. Professor Means always means what he says and says what he means by all means.
Fine then. Say it already. I'm waiting.
The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until late the next day. Countless students passed the stage till they met in the lecture hall for the mock trial.
The body would absolutely be found.
Yeah. So answer me this. Why didn't anyone see the body that entire time?
That can be explained by, he hid it. It was hidden with the Lady Justice.
Ah!
If the victim was murdered on the stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered. And of course, there was nowhere to hide a body upon that stage.
This is not good, Athena. Our claim is this close to being beaten to a pulp. I know, but we've come so far.
Consider yourself schooled. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been, and it always will be.
Just wait a minute.
Poor Juniper, she must seriously regret having asked you to defend her. And add insult to injury, you nearly had Hugh convicted for murder. Surely you haven't forgotten that little fiasco.
Athena Sykes' attorney badge is just for show. Yikes.
Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against her friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer.
Gonna make Athena have a breakdown.
But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as the mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain?
Well, I'll just have to make sure that doesn't happen then, won't I?
Right.
Don't tell me I've failed once again. Failed to save someone near and dear to me. I worked so hard to become a lawyer and even studied psychology. Has it all been for naught? Am I just doomed to relive that all over again? What's that?
What is this?
We finally brought this up again. Athena, what's wrong? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Relax, Athena, breathe. What is... Yes. It's not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done, is this how it ends? Forgive me, Junie. Couldn't protect you like I said I would.
You leave Athena alone, man! She's the one who saved me!
It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. And she saved the friendship between Hugh, Juniper, and I.
I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best. But I raised false charges against Hugh. And that's not all. I've done some seriously unforgivable things. What's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. And I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and give me a chance to re-examine what's important. But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I've come so far is... It's not over yet, Tina. Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Junie, I know you better than most people, Tina. And I know you'd never surrender to the dark age of the law like the professor did. Thank you, Junie. But I feel like I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence. Stop your bleating this instant. You look another fool.
Prosecutor Blackwell?
There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you've worked for thus far? It would not do to have you disappoint you know who.
Wait. Does he know something about her?
You're wasting your time. You have nothing on me. No evidence or anything else to establish my guilt. You are helpless before the might of lawyers for whom the ends justify the means.
Don't worry, Athena. You're doing fine. The truth will always win against people like him. But Apollo, what am I supposed to do now? Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case. If there's truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now let me see you smile. Remember what Mr. Wright said? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Athena Sykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your utter defeat. Yeah. Professor Court wasn't killed in the art room. She was killed right where her body was found. We know because there wasn't any time to move the body from somewhere else. That means the body had to have been hidden somewhere on stage until it was found. Let's think along these lines and see where it takes us. First up, when did Professor Means remove the body from its hiding place? Let's see. What was he doing right before the body was discovered? He was using the span of his time of his fake alibi created to move the body to where it would be more easily spotted. Therefore, the only time Professor Means could have removed the body from the hiding place is during the mock trial. It was during the mock trial, specifically while Junie wasn't there. No, Junie was in charge of the audio, so she would have left the lecture hall many times. There's no way to know which of those times to focus on. There's got to be some other way to pinpoint the timing of the professor's actions. Specifically, during the speech. Yeah, during Means' speech. Right. Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location during his long pre-recorded speech. The professor also moved something to the stage that wasn't there before, specifically the white statue. Yeah. During the mock trial, Professor Means wrapped the white Lady Justice in the school banner and sent it zipping down to the stage with a crash, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like the murder occurred in the art room. But was there anywhere to hide a body on that stage? It doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be some place. Wait a second.
How about something that should have been finished but was only mostly done? Something was used to cover the body up, but it didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged there on stage. In that way, no one would suspect there was a body hidden inside. What was already on the stage and capable of concealing a body? The school banner? No, the statue. Because the Gavin statue was already done. The Wright statue wasn't done. Yeah. The body was hidden by Wright statue. Oh, I know. The Mr. Wright statue was never actually finished. The body was wrapped under some cloth to hide what was really inside, cleverly disguising it as the boss's statue. Miss Newman gave up on the Wright statue, yet Professor Means finished it in a single night?
Yes, what an impressive feat that was.
No, his so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work, the murder of Professor Court.
Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow.
He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Wright. But the body wrapped up under a piece of cloth looked just like a statue.
What?
I second that. What? No, this is getting interesting.
No, this is getting preposterous. How would such a thing even be possible?
We'll never know until we try. Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going. Okay, Apollo. Time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Wright. I'm gonna pose like the statue, like so. And now I want you to wrap me up in a cloth so that I look like a statue.
I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magical cloth? I'm afraid that isn't the right color, Mr. Justice.
Well, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I could do, Your Honor. All right, I think that about does it.
Well, what do you think, everyone? Do I look like a statue of Mr. Wright or what?
It looks like some random person to me. Weren't the statues a pair of busts? Phoenix Wright has that spiky hair on the back of his head.
Forget the hair! The statue's head is way bigger than your average person's anyway!
You gotta hand it to me for trying anyway. Wait, that's it. The hands! Her arms are raised above her head and there are dark bruises around her wrists. Yeah, the professor was probably tied up with something. The marks on her wrists indicated she'd been tied up.
Apollo, tie me up in a new pose. Wait, you're not into that kind of thing, are you?
What? No, besides, it was your idea. Just tell me how to tie your hands already.
Professor Court's wrists were tied together, and I can't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given her hands were tied?
In an objection pose? Probably? Wait, no. It was behind her. The pose was... We have the picture? It was behind the head, yeah.
Apollo, tie both of my hands behind my head.
Oh, to make the spike. Yeah. See? This makes it possible to fake the spikes on the back of Mr. Wright's head. Sure, but what about the statue's arm? With both arms behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose. Yeah, it would be awfully hard to make the objection pose like this. I can't help thinking you've forgotten something, Athena. Something on the body that you don't have right now. What did the victim's body have that I don't? The arrow? Yeah, because she was holding it. And it was like the arrow. Yeah. Oh, right, there was an arrow sticking out of her side. Okay, Apollo, take that and plunge it into my side.
What are you, crazy?
Fine, then go get some duct tape. Rapido, schnell. All right. I don't need to know other languages to know bossy when I hear it. The fatal arrow to the other side. Yep. Spiky hair created from two hands.
Masterpiece in the making. Now cover me up with that cloth. But remember to make the arrow stand out, okay? Okay. Mommy, the arm's too short. Shh. Remember your indoor voice, dear. Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough. But what else could you use for the arm?
Still won't give up, eh? I must commend you, if only for your spirit and determination. Of course she's not giving up. After all she's put me through, she owes me an explanation, and one that makes sense. Now, disappoint me again, and the penalty will be doubly painful.
Yikes. I guess I better get it right this time. Think, Athena, think. Professor Court was murdered when she was stopped by the stage to see Professor Means. If it wasn't premeditated, he must have used something close at hand in his little ruse. Apollo, show me those stage photos set up again.
Like what? Right now? Okay, hold on.
Please, 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 please be in this photo. It just has to be. The arm on the Mr. Right statue is really this right here. It's in this picture, right? Yeah, his staff would work. Yeah. I bet you're right. Got it. I know what he used for the arm on the statue of Mr. Right.
This is absurd. There's no such thing in this photo.
Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there.
Staff? This is the spear of a great legal warrior.
Whatever. Just hurry up and lend it to me. The length is perfect. Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object to such an awesome arm. Okay, go for it, Apollo. Sure, I'll give your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up. Ah. Yeah? It's Phoenix Wright! Look! It's that famous lawyer!
That's definitely him. I'd know that pose anywhere.
We did it. Didn't we?
Well, am I not the spitting image of the legendary Phoenix Wright? The man who will bring us out of these dark ages and into an era of brilliant golden light.
Golden light. All I see before me is the pink specter of a man.
Not just because Mr. Wright likes his statue. He's positively tickled pink. Get it, Apollo? He's tickled pink!
That joke deserves a pink slip. It seems the gallery is quite impressed with the defense's sharp thinking. And the witness? The resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence.
Not so fast there, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be more than mere coincidence. To prove that his spear was thrust into the victim, all I have to do is... Let's see, test the spear for blood. Yeah. That's pretty... yeah. We had assumed the victim's jagged wound came from the arrow being forcibly shoved in, but if the wound was from the spear instead, then we should be able to detect traces of the victim's blood on it.
Yep. On a brief recess, if you will. By any means possible. What if I get rid of my spear? Wait, what if I burn it? What's wrong with a not guilty verdict? If I do that, then I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you.
Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. Now, I ask you in the gallery. Help me decide the professor's fate. Bathroom detail.
Retake the bar exam.
30% salary cut? What are you, Gumshoe? Dismissal? Yeah, that's the Gaviner's G.
Prosecutor Blackquill, what has become of our witness, Aristotle Means?
It is as Sexdono suspected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to this heinous crime, all of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there.
Great. We'll teach felons that the ends justify the means. So much for rehabilitation. Can I ask what the professor's motive was?
I could barely make out a word he said on account of his shattered teeth.
One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was once a surgeon. One had a former dentist, too.
I eventually had him put pen to paper. It turns out Professor Means was the one taking bribes. The victim had suspected him after a report from the class snitch that led her to question him at length the day of the killing, right there on the stage. And the result, the heinous crime that was brought before this court. The fool, like Newman, had come to know of the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own owl in order to make the killing look like the one in the script, and thus frame the defendant.
But that scrap of paper with Hugh's name had the same mark as Professor Court's planner.
Yes, about that. Those planners are bestowed upon all students graduating at the top of their class.
Really? So then...
Indeed, once upon a time, Professor Means was also awarded the same notebook. The handwriting is being analyzed now, but like as not, the scrap belonged to him. This too was evidence of the bribery scheme that the victim had obtained. Know that Constant Court was clean, and that only Aristotle Means took the bribes.
To think a professor would murder a colleague, then try to pin it on a student. If this is the dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. And the first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. The court finds the defendant, Juniper Woods,
not guilty. Yeah.
I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you if we ever hope to restore the law to its former glory.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll work as hard as I can. Maybe one day I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference.
Proudly serve Professor Court's memory. Do not let her death be in vain.
That's the last thing I expected to hear from him today.
Court is adjourned.
Woohoo. October 26th, District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Thank you, Athena. I really mean it. It was nothing, really. I can take the biggest tangled mess of a case and unravel it just like that. I don't know. You look pretty wound up there at the end. Literally and figuratively. You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich, Buster. I wanted to thank you too, Apollo. Don't mention it. The way you were always there for Athena when she was in a bind, and at the detention center where your smile gave me hope when there was none. It was like the warm rays of the sun shining down on peaceful woodlands. I think you're an absolutely amazing person. Thanks, Juniper. That means a lot to me. But I still have lots of work to do, and I can't wait until we see you on the judge's bench. I promise you I'll get there someday. That's why until that day, I'll... Guys, I've got some big news. I mean, this is huge. Oh, am I interrupting something? No, it's okay, I think. So what's the big news?
The school festival. It was supposed to have been canceled after what happened, but we just got a call in memory of Professor Constance Court, who worked so hard to make it happen. The festival is being extended 1 extra day until tomorrow. Really? All right. Hey, it's the festival. Hey, I know that costume.
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis Legal Academy. Achtung, baby. It's time for the Guitar Serenade.
Oh no. I'm being taken back like 6 cases ago. October 27th. Themis Legal Academy. 3rd floor, lecture hall. Wow, that was so much fun. School festivals are amazing. I think you and Robin are getting a little carried away. Ah, your singing voice, Juniper, it could melt my HEART. Mr. Wright, thank you for that training seminar. Just remember the objection pose is all about attitude. Oh, and congrats on your mock trial win, although Robin had you for a while there. I did, didn't I? But I'm just glad we're back to how we used to be, thanks to Athena. And you know what? I think I'll stick with becoming a prosecutor after all. I'm gonna make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court. Mock trial loss? What loss? Wait, did they reprise the trial and Hugh won? Level-headed lawyer course genius and hot-blooded prosecutor course student will go head-to-head in a mock trial battle for the She-Devil's Black Heart. So, does this mean it's really gonna happen? Juniper, there's something I've been wanting to say to you. Huh? Oh, is he gonna do what I think he is? Juniper, can we still be friends? You know, best friends like we've always been? Huh? Best friends? Hugh, weren't you gonna profess your love for Juniper if you won the mock trial? No, I was gonna confess that I'm not a genius and that I'm really 25 years old. But you already dragged it out of me during the trial. Oops! Listen, Hugh. You too, Robin. Miriam. Oh, she's me too? Miriam's got this tactical espionage action stuff down to a science. I've been thinking, it's up to us to put an end to the dark age of the law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results from the truth. And the end never justifies the means. Count me in! I wouldn't have it any other way. Best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship. You bet. And what about your BFF, Apollo? Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? But yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have. Which reminds me, we're supposed to meet up and gossip about the new girl in the office. Hey, no talking about me behind my back. So what kind of guy is he anyway? Well, if I had to describe him in one word. And so after some slight arm twisting, Apollo promised to bring me to meet his friend. Unfortunately, that promise was never meant to be fulfilled. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate. And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as well. I think we're creeping up on... Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. Oh, we are creeping up on what happened, where Punished Apollo came from. Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. The discord in our ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold and distant. Oh boy. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind? I think next time we're going to figure out what's up with Punished Apollo, because we just finished Turnabout Academy. And sadly, I think this is Gavin's final appearance in the trilogy up to this point. maybe we'll get him back someday. Save our current progress, and that is a perfect time to close things off. So, next time we're gonna do the Cosmic Turnabout. Interesting. I'll be very curious to see what this one is about. All right, we'll see you then.